And just like that, we are live. Welcome. It's the very first, and hopefully a series of the East Tennessee Geeks Happy Fun Time page show. I'm Big Daddy Voodoo. I'm a guy that talks a lot, do a whole lot of things. So here I am. But enough about me. Let's talk about the real stars of the show today. I'm joined by my buddies. I've known all these guys for a while, and I can tell you that every one of them knows sci-fi in a different way. We got Don Merritt, Jay Swagger, Right Reverend Chumley. Thank you for coming out. Let's introduce each of you individually. Don Merritt, I'm going to call you Donnie because I've known you since you were little Donnie. Don is from University of Central Florida, and one thing that made me want Donnie for this panel is you look at the academic side of fandom a lot. I mean, you've been going to cons and you're into the fandom. We have been since we were kids, but you really seem to get into a lot of the academic sides of it.
I'm just a geeky nerd that way.
There's some. He sent me some very detailed essays on different sci-fi topics that get really deep. They kind of peel back some layers over the culture that we live in, and they're always fascinating. So we look forward to having your perspective there, Donnie. Thank you very much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk to Jay.
Yes.
Jay's my dealer.
Yes.
Jay's my dealer. He works at the comic shop. I go in there wanting one issue of Doctor Strange, which is what, $3. I walk out with a Wonder Woman 77 for $8. I can't eat lunch, but by gosh, I'm happy. Good to have you here, Jay.
Yes. I'm glad to be here.
And we've geeked out over countless things, standing around the comic shop, whatever the hot topic is, and that's one of the things that kind of inspired me to start doing this. Is we're standing around talking about it. Let's include other people in on the conversation. Let's see if we can get the internet into this.
We consider ourselves bartenders of sort at the comic shop.
Absolutely. And of course, Reverend Chumley. It's good to see you, my friend.
How's it going?
You're going to be the person that whenever somebody can't show up, I'm going to go, I need you on the show. No one showed up because he lives a few blocks over, and we've been friends literally since 1982.
So I'm a pinch hitter. All right, pinch hitters. Good. All right.
Not just that, we have grown up in fandom. I mean, from the earliest days I can remember when you and I were geeking out over the new game, Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the text adventure. You and I have geeked out along the way. We discovered Dragon Con together, and if not for you, I may not be in so deep into fandom that this page ever came into being, I should say.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's a good thing, but okay, I'll accept that.
I'm just saying you're to blame.
That's all. All right.
Let's say we get started. Let's look at what we've had going on on the Happy Fun Time page over the last week or so. Ta-da! We're going to roll way back in the Wayback Machine to October 9th. A little bit off here. We'll go to... Here we go. Let's start off with John Wick's trailer. We may move through some of these kind of quickly. It just depends on what catches their fancy. And, of course, guys, feel free to jump in. And if you see something that's interesting to you, let me know. Did you guys like the first John Wick?
Oh, loved it. Yeah.
I was shocked when it came out. I was like, oh, great, another Keanu Reeves action film.
It played the Keanu perfectly. I mean, he didn't have to act at all.
It's like let's kick the crap out of Keanu and see what happens after that. And they did it pretty well. I mean, it really got brutal, but man, that little dog.
Yeah.
I
think that was the thing that broke my heart watching the whole movie. It could have been anybody in Keanu's role. It didn't matter. They killed a dog.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for them to get their comeback.
I had issues with that. I really did.
Oh man, yeah.
Moving on, cosplay photo was shared on October 9th. Looks like it was early in the morning by the editors. I just love it. I know at least 5 guys with really short hair that are now wearing pink dresses and denim jackets.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few. I've seen quite a few myself.
I mean,
what struck me about that whole thing was how fast people caught on to that. Like when we went to Dragon Con, it had only been out they had just wrapped up only in the past week or two, but there were already a ton of people in the costumes and cosplay. Mostly 11, but the waffle, that's one of my favorites I've seen so far.
There were several Winona Ryder characters with they had the wall behind them with the letters and the Christmas lights.
Wearing a Wheaton t-shirt.
Yeah, and there was one really good one at Dragon Con where it was Winona Ryder with the phone, and then her husband was behind her that was had a gigantic latex wall, and so she'd post her photos like this, going like that, and he'd go through the wall like the latex, and it was all like he was coming through the wall. Pretty sweet.
That's brilliant. I love Dragon Con so much. This I loved. I don't know why. This was actually shared by Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton sharing a pillow. Will Wheaton with us. I just thought that was ridiculous.
Is it sad that I want to punch that pillow in the face?
No, I think that's only to be expected, really.
Because that's not Will Wheaton pillow. That's Wesley Crusher pillow.
True.
Yeah,
it's true.
Which makes the wanting to punch in the face that much worse.
Absolutely, yeah. So
I got to give it to Wheaton though. He has owned that to a point. Like he's owned it, but then he's going, you know what, guys? Let's move on. Can I do other things now? Can we do this and that?
Right.
But you'll still see him pop up some of the other stuff over time.
So he starts playing.
He's obviously got a great sense of humor.
He starts playing a jerk in every show on television.
Yep.
Big Bang Theory, Eureka. He was brilliant on Eureka just because he played that just dweeby nerd better than anyone I've ever seen. And then we had, of course, trailer is next up on October 9th for Iron Fist.
Yes.
We just had Luke Cage. Luke Cage, the profile picture for the East Tennessee Geeks Happy Funtime page. But man, look at this. We got. To me, when I was a kid, it was always Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah, the duo. They're like a tag team of sorts.
Right. And it was always Luke Cage he would get into a rage, and it was always that Eastern kind of calm that Iron Fist had that kept him in check, and they balanced each other. It was great. Yeah,
well now it plays more that Luke is the more like street savvy muscle, and Danny's the more smart aleck rich guy.
And how about that Luke Cage series? Oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
They just keep getting better with those Netflix Marvel series.
It was slow to start, but by the end, it really, really paid off.
Oh yeah, it had so much heart, and I think that's another thing about these Netflix series. Each one of them has a very distinctive thing that totally separates it from everything else.
Yes.
And Luke Cage was, first of all, that '70s blaxploitation feel and score. I mean, they're putting horns back into the soundtrack. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But also, it just had that realism, that heart, that grittiness of this isn't your middle class world that a lot of the other shows have been set in. This is Harlem, and it was really great.
For better or for worse.
Exactly.
Hey, if you wouldn't mind me going sideways just a little bit, that's one of the comments I hear from a lot of folks about some of the Marvel stuff, especially as it's coming out on Netflix, is that it starts slow, but then it gets really good. And I'm wondering, just throwing this out for an opinion, I'm wondering if we're going back to, and people are getting used to, character development again.
Exactly.
Where we're actually setting the tone and setting the presence, the atmosphere to really do some character studies instead of just jumping in and explosions and this and that. And maybe over the next few years, we'll see a lot less just whiz-bang, blow it up as sci-fi, and a lot more in-depth character studies on some of the pop culture stuff.
Indeed. Well, my wife made a great point that, part of the beauty of of Netflix, and it plays into Stranger Things too, is you don't have to build each episode for a week per week, so it doesn't have to have a cliffhanger at the end of each episode that just keeps you reminding you to come back the next week. It just tells the story continuously, and you can really just sink into it instead of having to every week build and remind you what happened the week before.
Absolutely. I mean, movies and TV have been made for so long, it's like we can't waste a single second on this screen. We have 45 minutes to tell the story. Everything has to go to the bare walls, and, I mean, it started probably in the 60s. there's no time to set up characters. There's no time to set up stories. You have to get right to it, or you're going to lose your audience. You lose your audience, you lose your money. Netflix,
Right.
they don't have to worry about that model. They don't have to worry about the viewers drifting away in the first act. So yeah, I think there's a lot to it. It's great to see good storytelling back.
And there's also the tendency anymore of having procedurals and police dramas, where every week it ends, you get back in the same spot you started in.
Right.
But you had that moment where something felt like it was going to change, but not really.
Okay, let me pull out my soapbox real quick. Yep, I'm gonna let me just jump up here on this soapbox for just 1 second, if I may. Voyager, the perfect example of the self-defeating premise.
Oh God!
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Do you know how many times I've heard this argument?
It always comes back. They get lost in the Delta or Gamma Quadrant. Oh no, we're never going to find our way home. Each episode is almost finding your way home, and you know they never are because they want to come back next week. Self-defeating premise.
Yes.
It's set to 0.
Shall we?
Zero
not gonna
subplots.
I'm still gonna say though, I really enjoyed the series. I know it was kind of a loop after a while, but I thought they had a lot of fun with it.
Oh yeah. Full disclosure, some of the best Star Trek episodes of that era were Voyager episodes, but you would get one of those a season. It would blow
Maybe.
the top off your head. Yeah, maybe. And you would get a show like the episode Q2, where, oh my God, up until the end, it's like they're getting a new crew member. They have redeemed a Q, and our Q is now part of the establishment. In the last 5 minutes, they kill him and reset to 0. Nothing happens. The Q's like, no, I really am a bastard, and disappears. It's like, God. Sorry, we may have to have a
We can
Voyager
go on.
show.
I'm pretty sure we can go on Voyager for like hours if we really wanted to.
It's the truth. Let's see what else we got on the East Tennessee Geek Happy Funtime page. We had this link, which I thought was pretty good. Kevin Smith posts that he started pitching Mallrats as a TV series. He's already got the production behind him, but now he's taking it around to Showtime, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, trying to find a home for it. I think that's awesome.
I don't know that I love this.
Really?
Yeah, because I loved the original so much, and don't get me wrong, I love Kevin Smith, but I'm kind of afraid it's a little bit of Me Too right now, and I'm just worried about what's going to come out.
I can agree with that because I was a huge fan of Mallrats because I was right at the age when it came out. I was reading the comic books and it had the ads in the comic books where he's standing on the pile of comic books, and I was like, "This movie is for me."
Oh,
and
you're just a tracer. It's like, oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was on its time though. I mean,
Right.
the thing is Mallrats. Are there even Mallrats anymore?
yeah, that's a
No.
good question.
That's a good question.
So do we need another Mallrats?
I mean, let's face it. I think we were all pretty much that age when that movie came out. So I grew up with Kevin Smith. He and I are just about the same age, and
Yeah.
he was always speaking to me. I was one of those slackers that he was making movies for.
I do remember though when it came out, it was right about the time I ended up moving to Cincinnati with my parents. And there was a huge mall there, and I walked to that mall, and I looked everywhere for those little bitty Solo cups so I could carry one. Could not find one anywhere. It was horrible.
I kept
And plus, there was no Jay and Silent Bob in my mall, so
I kept operating.
but I tried my
people,
best.
Melty chocolate pretzels.
yeah.
We got a cool picture of Harley Quinn that I thought was great just because it's got the punk rock Harley Quinn with "I Ain't Daddy's Nothing" on her iconic shirt, kind of looking like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Next was it was a local event. Actually, that's coming up. We're recording this at on a Sunday afternoon. This is a local thing here in Johnson City where not only it's put on by the Johnson City Police Department, inviting the entire community to come down to the park, meet, drink, a lot of Black, white, Latino bands all playing together. Just a good time. Wish I could make it. I got to go get something to eat here in a bit. But I love
going on right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
1. It's 2:15 now, according to the clock here. But
There are food trucks there, Shannon. You can go there and eat.
don't do that. To me, Dave. You know
Tempt you with the food trucks.
I'd go down there and eat and then go to the dinner that I'm going to. But I think it's great seeing local police departments putting on these community things. Some people may accuse it of being, kind of self-serving, but so what? If it's self-serving, you're still showing people, hey, come together, let's talk.
Well, there's such a diversity of things back there in East Tennessee now. Anyway, I mean, I moved away a number of years ago, but every time I go back, it looks more and more like the other places that I've lived since I left. So I actually like it a lot. I like the idea.
Do you guys know anything about Larry Correia? He's an author.
No.
Okay, I was just curious. This was a really interesting trailer about The Dark Tower, which was, of course, a Stephen King story, but it was linked by Larry Correia. And Larry Correia likes something, so this was shared partially just because Larry Correia actually likes something instead of trashing it.
Well, look who good they got in the lineup for The Dark Tower.
Oh my gosh!
I may lose my geek card here, but I never read The Dark Tower. It was one of the few things he did that I didn't read.
I only read 2.
But the more I see of what they're doing with this, the more I keep thinking to myself, I need to go back and read this one.
Yeah.
Because this sounds like it's going to be. It sounds like they've really put a lot of effort in.
And let's face it, Idris Elba, I don't care what the man does. I'll go see
Exactly.
It's like he could release a potty tape of some kind. I'm gonna watch it, and it'll probably win an Emmy. Big news. This is for you, Rev Chumley. Fraggle Rock returning to HBO.
Yep. Can't wait for that one.
Who would have thought that after all this time, Fraggle Rock, but then again, I look around. Oh yeah, they're remaking everything.
Yeah, as long as they don't try to DC it up, I'll be fine.
I would love to see a gritty reboot.
Dark, gritty Fraggle Rock reboot.
All smoking cigarettes. Yeah. Moving on. This is kind of your domain, Rev. Check out this cosplay from. What is it? Overlook. It's massive. This thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah. The Reinhardts are everywhere. Everyone's making Reinhardts, Lionhearts, all of the Overwatch dude. Even the TwitchCon, I went to the costume contest. Chad Hoku, one of my buddies. Between 9 to 10 feet. He's more a fabricator and stuff and prop maker than he is a costumer, but he made a Lionheart version, which is a version of Reinhardt, and he won that. He won $15,000 in that one.
Wow, 15 grand. That's nice. You were out there with your early Kyler, right?
Yep.
If y'all get a chance, check out Rev Chumley's Facebook page, or they can just go straight to you. Can they get a link to it off of your twitch.tv?
Sure.
I just want to show off your costuming. Go to Twitch TV. You can catch it in his previous episodes, I'm sure. Just an amazing. You build a monster truck with early driving it.
That I did.
I love it.
It was so cool in person, man. It was. I just started giggling as soon as I walked around the corner and saw it. I was like, yes, there it is, there it is.
It was awesome. Moving on, the CW. They've taken all of their programming off of Hulu and moved it onto their own proprietary page. Do you guys watch television online, or do you still watch cable broadcast?
Online.
Online mostly, but I also have antenna, and I can get CW shows just free off the air, record it on the TiVo.
What about you, Jay?
I still technically I have cable, but technically I get it just so I can watch hockey and soccer. But I get to watch stuff because you can't watch hockey and soccer online without going illegal, and I feel dirty about that.
Oh, that's
but I use Hulu and Netflix and Amazon. And I like the notion of Hulu because it's a way to watch TV without having to have cable.
Right.
But the more they split it up to where CBS has its own thing and CW has its own thing, the less likely I think it is that we're actually going to have people watching stuff online consistently.
I'll tell you what my problem with this is. I have a TiVo, an actual TiVo DVR. It's great. I actually canceled my cable and I keep my TiVo because I can watch Hulu and I can watch Netflix on the TiVo. With CW taking their shows off of Hulu, I can't watch on my big screen anymore. because
Oh,
you have to have CW shows on Hulu. That's all that TiVo has, and it's not like a Roku or an Apple TV. You can't add it as an app, so I'm locked in without the ability to watch CW shows unless I go to the proprietary thing. Actually, I found a way around it with Plex, but I'm not here to advertise Plex.
There's always a way around it.
Right. I thought this was pretty cool. What do you think? Ewan McGregor thinks that he might want to play Obi-Wan in a solo movie.
Sounds boring.
Has his day come and gone?
I don't know if his day ever came.
yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% behind like more Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I kind of feel like the Obi-Wan part of the story is told as much as necessary now.
Right.
Like, the more you go on to it, it's not really what you want out of Star Wars.
I would like a pumpkin spice latte. You would like a pumpkin spice latte. Little oversharing there, Obi-Wan. Okay.
Well, in all fairness, though, I would consider watching something that had him separated from the rest of the tragedy that was.
I can see that. Kind of a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, I might give him enough leeway for that.
Arguably, I would say that he was one of the best things about that trilogy. He
Right.
was just so consistent.
I agree.
They gave him crap to say, but he was
Yeah,
good.
it's just his character. Obi-Wan, he was just too straight and narrow to be interesting.
Yeah, but I felt that Ewan McGregor actually made him, you know, he was the actual vision of the person that played him in the first movie. Who Sir Alec Guinness? There it is. Oh my God, let's move on. Oh, here's a great one. Did you see the Supergirl premiere? What'd you think? Yeah.
It was nice seeing Soups there. Finally, without just being like the shadow that goes by in the sky, and everybody
Right.
goes, "Look, Superman! Wait, I can't tell. Is he licensed?"
Superman in no legally binding way.
Yeah.
Well, apparently somebody liked it because the season 2 premiere of Supergirl on the CW, they moved networks, was the highest rated single episode of a CW show since a 2008 episode of Gossip Girl.
Wow.
So apparently,
I will say, it was really nice to see Superman smile.
that's it.
That was refreshing.
I agree. I felt that was my Superman. In fact, I put that on my Facebook page. This is my Superman. It was a guy that was glad to help other people. He tried to be in a good mood and tried to bring hope, because that's Superman's power, is hope. And I think that's what certain filmmakers may have forgotten. Moving on.
Yeah.
Again, Reverend Chumley, did you see this? A Lego Yellow Submarine?
Yep. I
Pretty
saw it.
cool. $60.
Yep. I don't touch Legos anymore. They're just too freaking expensive for small plastic blocks.
Right. And you start buying them, it's only a matter of time before you step on one in the dark.
I still have scars.
Yeah. I've got a hole in my foot. Moving on. I just think this is cool. It's a carafe for wine that looks like it's molded as aorta or tree roots. It's kind of neat.
I'll admit, when I first saw that, I thought that's fantastic, and then, I don't want to drink any of that. I went from one extreme to the other pretty quickly, but I keep going back to that's still really cool.
Right.
Yeah, I would love to see that at someone else's house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the minute they have children, it won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
Or a dog.
Or have to clean it in any way.
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
this was really cool. It's some concept art from the original Batman series, 1966. It's just such a great style. The boldness of the painting there. Really cool.
It's interesting how the concept art and the show diverged so much.
Seriously. There's a realism about this concept art. It's
Yeah.
you feel like you're in an actual place, especially I don't know if you guys can see what I'm especially this one right here, where he's tied into this industrial machine. that would just be a box with industrial machine written on the side of it by the time the set designers got a hold of it. And Rev,
And no, some great stuff. I mean, that's almost hanging worthy in your house. You know, I mean, it's just some great work.
especially, I love this very last one. Rev, can you see this very last one? It's At the Moulin Rouge, a version of At the Moulin Rouge, done with the penguin and the Joker's in the background.
Getting choked.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. I like that one.
But yeah, I just thought that was beautiful. Moving on, Unicorn Tears liqueur. Who's drinking it with sparkles? Go ahead, Jay. You drink the sparkles.
Oh Lord, no sparkles. Didn't they have something like this in the '90s?
Well, I think it was called SEMA.
Goldschlager.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, Goldschlager.
Goldschlager.
It still exists.
Well, yeah, but there was like something in the '90s where you like it was a drink and you were supposed to shake it and it had like sparkly stuff in it.
I think that's Goldschlager.
I'm not.
Goldschlager.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Oh, you're
that
talking
strong.
actual like sparkly. Ugh.
Something in it, and it got canned after like 6 months because people were getting sick off of it.
People are pooping glitter and going to the hospital. We cannot keep doing this to society.
Sparkly vomit! Yay!
Yeah.
Can you imagine the bender after the next morning you're trying to clean your apartment? It's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, at least it
It's
makes
like a-
3 a.m. more festive.
It's like a drag queen blew up in my living room. What?
and I've had that happen, and it's a big mess. I'm here to tell you. It's all part of the performance lifestyle, my friends.
Fair enough.
$52 for that. I just don't think I could do it. No. These I'm not going to go into this, but a series of 16 horror movies. You know, not all of them were super awesome, but I got a kick out of them. I don't know if you all watched any of those, but they were fun. Try not to share BuzzFeed, but doggone it, sometimes they just have good links.
Yeah.
I think that's a great use of YouTube, honestly. Instead of showing cat videos, like actually make something interesting but short.
Absolutely. In fact, we're running.
I mean, don't stop making cat videos though, because I think the world would collapse.
We're running out of time. Let's see what else we got here. We're gonna rush through. Stop me if you see something interesting. Rogue One poster highlights. Felicity Jones, but a few days later they would release the trailer. Batman: A Return of the Cape Crusader. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. We may have to do this again. Batman and Robin animated series or animated movie.
Burt Ward and Adam West.
Oh my gosh, how awesome is that?
Yes, indeed.
And of course,
That could be fun.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be Adam West. To me, I'm only going to hear Mayor Adam West from Family Guy.
Yeah.
He does have a little bit of age in his voice. That's the rough part of it.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. He's, what, 90 something?
Up there. He's not Stan Lee, but he's up there.
Right. And then, of course, the Rogue One trailer dropped. Man, that second trailer finally showed us Darth Vader. And
Yeah.
I mean,
That one made me actually want to see it.
yeah. Yeah.
I was up in the air with the first trailer. I was like, I don't know about this.
I mean, I'm going to go see it either way. But you're right. This one really sold it for me. It just.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I was gonna go see it either way,
But now I'm excited.
but now I actually want to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
The obligation is now turned into interest.
Right. Let's see. Blanket throws. Some good cosplay from New York Comic Con. Some really good New York Comic Con stuff. I think Adam. We're going to get to it in a minute. Adam Savage dressed as Totoro and ran around the con a little bit.
That looks
Okay, we're going to run over just a little bit. I just can't help it. We're almost done. Mark Zuckerberg asks, who should I get to do his AI Jarvis's voice? And Robert Downey Jr. apparently wrote back, I'll do it in a heartbeat if Bethany can get paid and donates it to a cause of Cumberbatch's choosing. That's the right kind of strange. So, can a Jarvis AI be voiced by Robert Downey Jr.? Or should Zuckerberg just go, no, I want Bethany or nothing?
I think Bettany's the best choice, but I would take Robert Downey Jr. anytime.
That'd be pretty cool.
It's kind of hard to say no to that.
Right.
Yeah, he'd have a nice, like, smarmy voice to do your AI.
It's
Yeah,
win-win.
Yeah.
And of course, Corey Feldman returns to Today Show for another performance. Watch that on your own time. We're not doing that here.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's not give any more attention to Corey Feldman.
And then, hey, look at this. There's an announcement of a new podcast coming out from East Tennessee Geeks Happy Fun Time page. We need to check that out sometime.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, I hear the panel sucks.
These people need to get a life.
Game of Thrones set the date for the new premiere, 6/25/17. Excited or just glad to see it wrapping up?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little both. Yeah. Finally, I want to see some stuff happen.
Exactly, and it's picking up momentum, and it's suddenly everything's happening. But will it keep up, or will they just hit the brakes again? Only time will tell. The question of the week: you take the red pill, you become Deadpool. You take the blue pill, you become Batman. Donnie,
I've got to be Deadpool.
Jay,
I'm going to take both and be Batpool.
Rev Chumley.
It's always Batman.
It's always Batman.
The answer is always Batman.
For me, it will always be Batman every single time. Kevin Smith showing off his script called Supergirl Lives, which I thought was just hilarious because, there's a long story about how he was going to produce a Superman movie in the 90s called Superman Lives starring Nick Cage.
Himself.
Yeah, there's actually a documentary about it, and I believe it was on Showtime or one of those for a while. The Death of Superman Lives.
I got to find
Fantastic
it.
documentary.
But I'm excited about that.
I've seen photos of Nick Cage in that outfit. And
The super muscles.
No.
Yeah, the muscles really kind of killed it. No matter what. Everything else I could have forgiven, but a muscly Nick Cage, I'm just not going to believe that.
I just have a mental image that he's trying that on, and Joel Schumacher walks in and goes, "Ah, I love it! Let's put nipples on it. Call the Batman people." I have a problem with Joel Schumacher. He ruined Batman. You want to talk about ruining your childhood?
Yes, well, Tim Burton has a problem with Joel Schumacher for that, too.
Well,
okay.
Actually, those Batman movies killed the Superman Lives movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had two series that Tim Burton was involved in that Joel Schumacher killed.
We're wrapping it up. On the 14th, we posted Guro, the Erotic Horror of Japanese Rebellion, and this stuff is beautiful. I mean, it's all garish. It's all not safe for work, so don't watch this at work, kids. But it's messed up the way only the Japanese can be messed up. Just beautiful. Another short film made by Pixar animators. We don't have time for that right now. We got to keep going. Studio Ghibli making a TV series narrated by Gillian Anderson.
On Amazon. Amazon's really putting a hard play onto a lot of things right now.
They're not taking a lot of series, but they're picking the really high prestige ones. The Tick, Ghibli, Man in the High Castle was a really good series. I haven't finished it yet, but I will.
Jean-Claude
Are
Van
they
Johnson.
doing Death Note or is Netflix?
Sorry, say it again?
Yeah, are they doing Death Note or is Netflix?
Oh.
I think Netflix is doing it. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I don't
I can't
remember.
remember.
I don't know how Death Note's going to translate into live action.
I don't either.
Well, there have been a number of Japanese versions, movie versions of Death Note. I think some of them have been kind of after stories, if you will, because there was I think actually there's a link posted a little further in here, an older link to one of the newer ones that they've got of Death Note. I don't know. I would call that one more a character study. I mean, you've got some of the demon scenes, but a lot of what happens in Death Note is just really the almost police procedural, but with all of the other stuff in. I don't know. I might be interested in seeing something like that.
I think it has the potential to be something fresh, but they have to realize that potential.
Agreed.
And it's got one of the most messed up looking demons ever, so there is that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else we got here. Asgardia, the proposed space-based nation accepting citizenship applications. So they're building a spaceship, and they're leaving Earth and creating a new nation Are you going to join? Are you going to become an Asgardian?
Who says I'm not?
I just don't. I don't trust people that aren't original enough to come up with a name that's not Asgardia.
Right.
So, no.
If they threw in a free Uru hammer, I might think about it.
No, really, come on, join us. Just get on the shuttle, the Rainbow Bridge, and we'll fly you right up there. I'm out. Okay.
I hear the people that want to go there are very low key.
Oh, okay. That's all the time we got for Jay today. This is why we can't have nice podcasts.
Oh, and I also heard that the trip up there can make you very Thor.
Oh, ow.
Yeah.
Well, there went that one person that was watching at home.
I think I just got an aneurysm from that.
Okay, things that sound like Chewbacca. This is a good video. Can't really play the audio.
Yeah. I haven't seen this compilation, but I think I've seen individually all of those things
And
on the internet.
These have all been gathered up through different sources, but every one of them is just hilarious. It really sounds like Chewbacca. It's just too much fun. Of course, scary clown puppets. I saw it and I immediately wanted one. You can get a puppet that looks like a scary clown attacking you, trying to tear your throat out.
Because everybody wants that.
Yeah.
Just a terrifying video. I love it. Power Rangers and Justice League getting a crossover comic. Let's turn this to Jay. Jay, what the hell?
Don't look at me, man. But they've done Green Lantern, Planet of the Apes. What was the other one? Gotham Academy and Lumberjanes. So it's just inevitable they're going to try to throw this together too. I do like the notion of Batman driving a gigantic mech made of multiple other robots.
Right.
That seems interesting, but
I mean, they've also got Green Lantern Star Trek is coming out.
Yes, indeed. It's Green Lantern Star Trek Part 2.
Is this a sign that the comic industry is just desperate to get people to look at their properties? Can they make back the money that they're paying in this licensing?
Yeah, I can't say that's absolutely a sign, but it's a good one if it is. So.
Okay.
But I mean, there's also Star Trek Doctor Who crossover, Star Trek Planet of the Apes crossover. So
I mean, it's a great tradition, but it seems to be very specifically targeted lately.
Well, and it's Star Trek Doctor Who makes sense. Star Trek Planet of the Apes makes sense. Even Green Lantern Planet of the Apes, but I don't know whether the notion of the Justice League and the Power Rangers getting together, I don't know who thought that really made sense. It just doesn't seem to overlap in my mind. Even Batman Ninja Turtles made some sense. They're both ninja-oriented.
You got a movie coming out? We got a movie coming out. Let's do a comic. I think that's a little about what it's like. That's how that conversation went.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost at the end. Trailer Park Boys are coming to the Tennessee Theater in Knoxville on October 24th. I love the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, I love the show. I have seen plenty of their live stage performances. Not at the actual place, but, filmed.
On the Netflix stuff.
Meh.
Yeah. That's the thing. And even some of their SwearNet stuff is kind of on the decline, if you ask me. And then shared this morning, back to cosplay, Adam Savage built a Totoro costume, and this shows him. It starts off, and you'll appreciate this, Rich Only. It starts off with the costume's ear broke off, and he was like, "I was going to go out, but now my costume's broken."
Well, welcome to every costume ever.
But it's a really good video about him walking through the con, and people. He's got a GoPro mounted on it, so he can actually look at people, look at him. What I thought was most interesting is he built that whole costume in 14 hours. And he has a video on, what's his site? Testing, or Tested.
Tested, yeah.
And finally, Anna Kendrick, she wants to be Robin. It's just a cute video where she puts on I think she put on a Hamburglar costume and put an R on it, and it's just kind of.
I was going to say, she kind of looks like the Hamburglar.
She's too young to really know what that is, so I'm going to let that go. And of course, then it's just us talking, and that is the last week in the East Tennessee Geeks Happy Fun Time page. Phew, we went over by 10 minutes. Not too bad. Anything you guys saw that is worth mentioning? I mean, we're pretty thorough, I think.
I think that the only thing I've noticed, there was a Batman 66 style Batmobile bed that you can get now. Can't remember exactly where it's from. Let me see here real quick. I think it's someplace like, Pottery Barn or someplace like that.
That's awesome.
And they make them full sized, but they're about $2,000. So you can have one. You'll just have to pay for it.
You might be able to buy the original Batmobile for that. The guy that had it here in town was kind of desperate to get rid of it there for a while.
Yes, indeed.
Well, speaking of Batman, one of my favorite stories of the past few weeks is the cosplayer Charles Conley, an African American who did Batman at DragonCon. And Shannon, I don't know if you saw him, but it looked fantastic up in person. And he's getting a lot of a good positive press over the past few weeks as a follow-up to all of that.
And I remember meaning to share that, but I forgot to put that out to the editorial staff at the page.
Well, it's a continuing story. Like this story has grown legs, and he keeps coming back up. The whole conversation about who your superheroes can be, and who do you identify with, and this and that. It's been an interesting story to watch.
That's awesome. We'll get that shared out there when we release this on Monday. Anything on your mind, Rev Chumley? Anything good coming up?
Yeah, I'm on downtime after Tornado for the last 2 months.
You went to DragonCon and then you went to TwitchCon, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Weeks apart. So, yeah.
You're still doing your Twitch cast, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, and where can people find that?
Just at twitch.tv/Rev Chumley.
Check it out. Tell him I sent you. Don't make it easy on him because you saw it here first. Anything else any of you want to add before we wrap it up?
This has been fun.
Indeed.
I had a good time. We'll have to do this again more often. We'll have you guys back. Gonna try to mix it up. We may have more people, but I think 3 people is right on. I mean, the 3 of you side by side on this Skype view looks really pretty good. Left me out, but I can always just switch to myself. Not that anybody wants to see me. But thank you all for hanging out. I'll get this copied off and into an audio format, and we'll get it posted Monday. Not going to really do the podcast releasing thing. We're just going to put it on the Happy Fun Time page and let people come to it. If enough people like it, maybe then.
Fair enough.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm Big Daddy Voodoo. Let's go back to me. Hi, I'm Big Daddy Voodoo. These are my friends. I want to thank Don Merritt, Jay Swiger, Rev Chumley. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Had a great time, and we'll do this again soon.
See y'all.
Thanks for having us.